I don't need it. Gauff turns down $1 million Corvette from CEO after China. Open win. Beijing was bathed in gold. That night, the lights in the China Open. Stadium shimmered against the cool. October airs fans erupted into. Applause for the new queen of the court, Coco Gauff. She had done it again. Another title, another breathtaking performance. A comeback from a set down against world number one Arena. Sabalenka, a masterclass of resilience and heart as Coco stood on the podium, her hair damp with sweat, her eyes glistening beneath the floodlights. The moment felt bigger than victory. It was a full-circle triumph for a 21-year-old who had once been the underdog, now standing tall as the face of modern tennis. The trophy gleamed in her hands. Cameras clicked endlessly, but none of those flashes would compare to one moment, one simple act that would soon make Coco Gauff the most talked about athlete on the planet, the gift that shocked the court. The ceremony had ended. The crowd began to settle when the event host returned the mic, voice trembling with excitement. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special surprise for tonight's champion. The Gelotron lit up with a dazzling commercial, an engine revving, tires spinning, and the logo of an American automotive giant appearing in bold chrome. Then from the side of the court, a shimmering white Corvette Z06 convertible rolled forward, escorted by staff in black suits. Its polished surface reflected every camera flash. Its metallic body glowed under the spotlights. The crowd gasped then, cheered. The host continued, on behalf of our title sponsor, the CEO of Silverline Motors would like to personally present Coco Gauff with his limited edition $1 million Corvette. Applause thundered through the arena. The CEO, a tall man in a sleek suit, approached Coco with a key fob in hand and a smile that reached his eyes. Congratulations, Miss Gauff. You've inspired millions tonight. This car is our way of saying thank you. The camera zoomed in, expecting Coco to beam with excitement, to hug the CEO, to pose for photos beside the car. Instead, she took a slow breath. Her eyes softened and then she smiled gently, almost apologetically. That's very kind, she said into the mic, but I don't need it. The stadium went silent. The CEO blinked, unsure if he heard her right. You mean you don't? She nodded. I mean, it. I don't need it. A ripple of confusion spread through the crowd. Murmurs turned into gasps. The internet live stream chat exploded in real time. Disbelief. Who turns down $1 million car? The silence after the shock. For a few seconds, all sound evaporated. Just a hum of the lights and a quiet hum of Coco's composure. Then in her calm and measured tone, she continued, I appreciate the gesture, truly, but I've already been blessed far more than I ever imagined. I don't play for things like this. I play because I love the sport and because I want to give back to it. The CEO, still holding the keys, looked at her, then at the audience. He wasn't angry. He was simply stunned. Coco turned toward him, smiling warmly. If it's possible, she said, I'd love for the value of that car to go to tennis program for kids who can't afford rackets or court fees. That would mean more to me than any car ever could. Applause, then thunderous applause. The audience rose to their feet, cheering, not just for a champion, but for a heart that refused to be swayed by luxury. The CEO's reaction. Backstage. After the ceremony, the CEO of Silverline Motors found Coco in the media lounge. He was still processing what had happened. Coco, he said, you just turned down a car most people dream about. She laughed softly. I know. My mom's Probably still shocked, too. He smiled, shaking his head. I've gifted cars to dozens of champions over the years. You're the first to say no. She looked up, her tone sincere. I'm honored you wanted to give it to me, but it didn't feel right to take something that big when I know so many kids are struggling just to buy shoes to play. The CEO was quiet for a moment. Then he said something that surprised her. You've made me rethink what winning really means. And with that, he extended his hand, not with a car key this time, but with a promise. We'll do as you asked. The money will go to fund youth tennis programs across Asia. You've got our word. Coco's eyes brightened. Thank you. That's the best gift you could give me. CNN Coco Gauff declines $1 million gift. I don't need it. BBC. Humility over. Hype. Gauff redirects prize toward kids in need. A true champion. Coco Gauff's refusal sparks global admiration on social media. Hashtags trended worldwide. Hashtag I don't need hashtag coinspires. Hashtag more than tennis. Fans praise her. Maturity. Celebrities reposted her. Quote, Serena Williams commented, proud of this young queen. That's real class. Even Elon Musk tweeted half-jokingly, if Coco doesn't want a Corvette, I'll buy 10 for her foundation. But for Coco, none of that mattered as much as the messages she received from kids. One read, Miss Gauff, I don't have a racket, but your story makes me believe I can still be a champion one day. Another, you turned down a car, but you gave me hope. Coco shared that message privately with her mom and said, that's my real trophy. Days later, in an interview with the New York Times, Coco explained the deeper reason behind her choice. When I was younger, my parents always told me, don't play for money, play for meaning. We weren't rich, but we had enough. And I learned that enough is a beautiful word. She smiled thoughtfully before continuing. I see too many young athletes chasing luxury instead of legacy. I just want to remind them you can have everything in the world, but if you lose your purpose, you've lost a game. The global impact. The story inspired other athletes. NBA players began auctioning off luxury gift for charity. Soccer stars funded youth programs instead of taking brand bonuses. At the 2026 Laureus Awards, Coco was presented with the Athlete Humanitarian of the Year trophy. During her speech, she said, I didn't set out to make headlines. I just follow my heart. And sometimes saying, I don't need it means someone else finally gets what they do. The crowd gave her a standing ovation that lasted several minutes. A letter to herself that night, alone in her hotel room. Coco opened her journal and wrote a note to her younger self. Dear little Coco, you'll be offered many shiny things in life. Cars, fame, money. But remember, none of them can outshine kindness. When you said, I don't need it, you didn't lose anything. You gained the world's trust and your own peace. Keep choosing meaning over material. That's the real win. Love. Coco. She closed the journal, turned off the light, and smiled into quiet. Epilogue, the sound of purpose. Months after the China Open, the world had mostly moved on to new tournaments and new stories. But somewhere in a small schoolyard in Kenya, children played tennis on a freshly built court. One of them, a young boy wearing a faded T-shirt, looked at a poster of Coco. Gauff on the wall. Underneath her image were words, I don't need it. I just need to make a difference. He gripped his racket tighter and whispered himself, one day I'll meet her, and maybe he would. Because that's what Coco's no had done. It opened the door to 1,000 new dreams. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next